Hey everybody, Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular, here to once again remind us all to be careful how we do business in this community. Although this is a great community, it is also scary sometimes, and there's some shysters out there in our wonderful community that will absolutely rob you to make a buck for themselves. So this is a story about the Hans Tolving Company. Very interesting slabs, I want to start saying, right before I start getting to the really bad news. The slabs are cool. I think that modern coin grading could take a lesson from these old slabs right here. They're very plain Jane looking. They really make the focus on the coin, which we all need to get back, right? Instead of these, fantastic looking cardboard little cutouts that cost people hundreds of dollars extra sometimes for the slab and not the coin. These are very simplistic and they look nice. And my favorite aspects are that they have a price right there, which sometimes can become irrelevant very quickly. When prices come up or down, especially on precious metals, significant coins, ones that have a lot of precious metals value as opposed to numismatic value. But it's nice to see where the coin was price-wise, right? Or at least what the idea was on a price guide directly on the coin. And that could really, really help people that don't know anything about coins, that just want to be collectors and could go like, well, it's around that. I know the price is somewhere around there. But my favorite thing about this is because I don't know what it is with these coin graders sometimes, but they can't figure out how to get coins in the slabs, and line it up correctly. So this thing actually will move. Look at this. You can move it however you want. So if you're somebody like, you know what, I like my coins to be this direction, you can just have it however you want. And this, I think, is so neat. So for those of us who have coins that are just, they're cockeyed in the holder because the grader was drinking the night before and got a little crazy and just couldn't, see correctly the day after, you can just, I'm just going to line it up just a little bit like that. Or if you like to be, crazy and you like to have your coins crooked, you could do that. I think it's a great holder. And, again, Hans Tolving, they did one thing, right? They had cool slabs, in my humble opinion. I think the modern slabs could take a page out of that book. But one thing that's not good about that company, and you can find it all over the internet, and some of you may have done business with Hans Tolving or the website or gave them money for precious metals at one time in your career, me having a much older crew that watches me. I'd love to hear your comment down below and some of the information you have about the company, whether it's good or bad. I'd be very curious. But you can see the website no longer, it has a little placeholder here on the internet, but no longer a website. That was tolving.com. But you can see all kinds of information about this company right here. And so look at this headline. It says, federal judge sentences coin and precious metals dealer and his company for defrauding over 380 customers nationwide. And so right here, it says Hans Tolving Jr., 60 years old as of the time of this, of Newport Beach, California, to 30 months in prison and 3 years of supervised release. The company was ordered to pay $10 million fine, which was placed on a probationary period of 2 years. Interesting. Judge Cogburn reserved his ruling on the amount of restitution owed by Tolving and the company for 90 days. So what happened is basically they were in a time frame with precious metals where things were starting to decline, and they had all these promises to give people either coins or precious metals. And because of that quick, decline in pricing, they came in over their heads and they could not give back or actually give to the customers what was owed. And so you can see some of the information right here, and it's to the tune of a lot of money too. It says the defendants, which would be the Hans Tolving Company, took approximately $150 million of customer orders of gold, silver, platinum, and interstate commerce. And that was just from August 2013 through in or about January 2014. So less than a whole year. Let's see, at least $15 million from customers was not delivered as specified. And this company was working with a lot of money. Let's see right here. So Tolving.com, the website stated that from 1999 through March 30th, 2013, Tolving Company bought and sold in excess of $2.1 billion in precious metals. The website also represented that Tolving Company sold more than $350 million in precious metals during 2012 alone. Wow. Interesting too. Very interesting. Go read this for yourself if you get the time. It's quite a sad story of a company that seemed like they were doing some great things. They were on the up and up for a long time. They had just a bad run of it there after just a couple of years, and boom, terrible company, made a lot of people dislike them, hate them, not trust them, obviously for good reasons, and will never be trusted as a name again in precious metals. I would hope not, at least. I did a little research, and from my research, it looks like Mr. Tolving is now out of custody, and he is out in the community somewhere in California. And interestingly enough, he's back in the same state that he did business with originally. Wild that people haven't come knock on his door asking where their money is, because as far as I know, that money was never delivered to a lot of people. And so a lot of people were just out of their nest egg, their investment, their retirement money. Man, it's just so sad. So sad. And so a little lesson can be learned from all this is be careful who you trust, right? Even somebody that you've known for many years, and this company was in business for a long time. Somebody like that can still turn into a bad egg. So just be cautious. I wouldn't take all of this big lump sum of money that you have and go push it at somebody all at once at any given time, right? And it just reminds me of the whole thing that I, try to, teach people, and that when you buy precious metals, for example, don't do it like all in one lump sum, right? Over a long period of time, that whole dollar cost average thing comes to mind, where you buy a little this month, a little next month, a little that month. And so if this month right here you go to buy your little bit, and somebody like Hans Tolving is still in business, and they're like, hey, can't deliver this month, just give me a little bit longer. Well, maybe on this next month you're like, well, I'm not going to buy right now because I'm still waiting for my last shipment, so I'm going to hold fast for a minute. You just start to think a little bit. But yeah, to the tune of $15 million or so that couldn't make good on. Yeah, that's nasty. That's nasty. So, just be careful out there. We are in a great community, but there are some very, very bad apples in our community, and they know that you and I, we have a little money to spend on investments like this. And, when the going gets tough, they're going to save themselves, and you are going to be in their way of doing so sometimes. And that's the sad reality of our community. Is it could happen, and it's happened many times. That's the real problem, right? Hans Tolving is not the only bad apple that's been in our community. There's been many companies that have not, made good, big companies that not made good on their promise to, deliver their precious metals and or coins. And then smaller time people. I mean, I have an entire playlist on my channel of numismatic crimes out there. So it happens too much, unfortunately. So be careful, be vigilant, and just be a little wise. And I think that you can be okay in this hobby, but hey, you just never know with some of these people out there. But yeah, Hans Tolving, if you paid attention to this far into the video, listen, you had a good slab. You had a good slab, just a real bad run of messing people out of their money, unfortunately. But yeah, I'd be curious if you did business with this company, if you have some good, bad, or indifferent things to say. If you could leave a comment down below. Interesting. There's so much history in our hobby, both good and bad, and this is one of those bad ones, unfortunately. But just thought I would post. Anyways, Spegtacular is out.
Well, hello everybody. I seek to educate and entertain through my journey of collecting coins and stacking precious metals. I encourage you to subscribe, and please stay with me on this journey. I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular.
When I was a kid, we did this every day in school, and I believe we need to bring this back a little bit, and I'm going to start right now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.